Come with us to Salem, Massachusetts, where the hysteria of the witch trials happened over 300 years ago. We'll take you to all the famous houses, the best landmarks, and the most amazing shops. Just wait till you see the buskers you can take pictures with. We'll also go to some amazing museums and tell you all about a creepy, spooky place that only happens at the end of October. We'll also check out all of the Hocus Pocus locations and take you to the best restaurants with the best view, the most amazing drinks, and even show you the best place to stay in the cutest little town. And we will even take you to the exact location where the victims were hung. Let's go!
Welcome to VO's Travel. Where to go and what to see.
Without kids, definitely without. Just a quick disclaimer, I do have 3 kids and they stayed home during this trip. I thought Salem might be a little much for them. So if you normally watch my videos with kids, you might want to watch it first just to make sure some of the creepy things don't creep them out like they might mine. I did make sure to bring them back some great souvenirs. Okay, let's go. Salem, Massachusetts is located on the Atlantic coast on the northeastern corner of Massachusetts. The first place you'll want to go is the Charter Street Cemetery. It is the oldest cemetery in all of Salem, but right next door, and you can't miss it, is the Salem Witch Trials Memorial. There is a bench for all 20 victims of the witch trials. Each bench has their name and how they were killed. It is a really somber place to visit, but it is a must-do when going to Salem, Massachusetts, because of the rich history with their Salem witch trials over 300 years ago. If you pay attention, you will notice that 19 of them were hung, and 1 was actually pressed to death. The next place we went was Old Town Hall. This is a scene in Hocus Pocus where the adults had their party and Bette Midler sang, "I put a spell on you." Next, we walked to the Witch House. The Witch House is significant because it is the house that was owned by a judge who presided over the witch trials and is one of the oldest houses in all of Salem. You can tour the inside of this house for $9 a person, but make sure you book early, especially if you're going in October because they do sell out. Just a couple houses down from the witch house is the Ropes Mansion. You might recognize this from the Hocus Pocus film, being Allison's house. You can tour this house also, and it's $20 a person. However, you can go through the gardens free in the backyard if you'd like. Just a fun note, at the end of October, they decorate it just like how it was decorated in the movie Hocus Pocus. I am making another video all about the Hocus Pocus film locations that will have a lot more details, so make sure you look for that soon. The next thing you should do in Salem is book a photography session with Gabby. I will link all of her information below, but that's where you can find her on Instagram. She did an amazing job. Next, we stopped for breakfast, and Gulu Gulu is where it's at. We had a little bit of a wait, but we did go the weekend right before Halloween. The server was amazing, and their food was to die for. I had a scrambled egg breakfast sandwich with bacon and avocado, and it was delicious. Since we are talking food, this is where we went for lunch, the Howling Wolf, and I suggest you do too. It's just a couple blocks away from the beaten path. And even the weekend before Halloween, we had no wait. The food was amazing. We had 3 different tacos, the fried avocado, the carnitas, and the fish taco, and they were all amazing. And don't forget to order the wolf blood. And for dinner, we hit up Sea Level Oyster Bar, and you have to check this place out. The food was phenomenal. However, it is one of the most desired restaurants in all of Salem, and you do have to make reservations in order to eat there, especially in the month of October. If you are wanting to go in October, I highly suggest making your reservation at least a month, maybe 2 months beforehand, but just look at that view. Okay, so we ordered fresh oysters, crab cakes, and clam chowder, and they were amazing. Enough with the food, now let's get on to some creepy Salem stuff. There are a ton of actors and buskers performing on the streets, and you will most likely find them on Essex Street. That is a street that they shut down to cars, and everybody just walks up and down. That's where a lot of the shops are too. Make sure you take a good number of dollar bills in your pocket because it is customary to tip them $1 or $2 if you do decide to video them or take your pictures with them. There are also street performers as well that add a lot of really amazing ambiance to your time in Salem. There are so many museums and attractions in Salem, but I highly recommend if you only go to one of them, go to the Witch Dungeon Museum. You do have to get your tickets a day of, so make sure you go a little early. Their first performance starts at 10 a.m. It does start off with a live reenactment of the witch trials and really gets you into the spirit and gives you a lot of history as well. And then you go down into their basement, which is a replica of the dungeon that they kept the accused in during the witch trials. It was very informational and interesting, and you just can't believe the deplorable conditions that they kept those poor people in when they were going through these trials. And just a heads up, the Witch Museum is actually a #1 attraction in Salem, but I've heard from multiple people that it is pretty cheesy and not really worth your time. So like I said, if you choose only one, make sure you go to the Witch Dungeon Museum. You won't regret it. Another fun thing to do in Salem is take your picture with the Bewitched statue. Did you know that some of Bewitched was filmed in Salem? Another cemetery you have to visit is the Howard Street Cemetery. I'm bummed we didn't get to see this during the daytime, but it is the most haunted cemetery, as Giles Corey was pressed to death at this location. There are some other fun, interesting facts you should check out too, but you need to go. Okay, let's talk shops. Wicked Good Books is an amazing little bookstore, and I picked up this book for my daughter. She was so excited. Trolley Depot has just your general gifts, but really great prices on hoodies and t-shirts. Why Not's Wands was amazing with hand-carved wands. You're not allowed to video or take pictures inside, but I was able to get a little bit of footage from the doorway. And if you're into national parks and have a passport book like we do and collect stamps, Salem Maritime National Historical Site is a wonderful place to visit as well. There are a lot of clothes and boots at Die With Your Boots On, including this super cute photo op. And speaking of photo ops, check out this amazing setup at vampfangs. That was a really fun yet dark store to explore. All of those previous stores were on Essex Street, but there is another area of gift shops called Derby Wharf. I'll give you more information about that in another video coming up, where we'll give you a day-and-a-half itinerary and tips and tricks on how to navigate Salem and where to go at what times. But anyway, this store called Coven is a really cute store. It has a lot of goth clothes and candles, all kinds of little gift knick-knacky things, but it also has this amazing photo op in the back too. The Witchery is right beside the Coven, and it is a great place to go. They hold broom making classes. You choose your own handle, you choose your own accessories, you choose the colors of the broom that you like, and they also have journal making classes. This is another thing that you do need to book well in advance, at least a month, maybe 2 or 3 months in advance, because they sell out very quickly. If you don't get a workshop, they do have make your own kits available to take with you. And you can ship your broom home for around $13, give or take a little bit, at a nearby shipping store. You have to pay a $50 deposit to sign up for either class, and prices range from $59 to $139 depending on what you're doing. Also in the same area is Ye Old Pepper Company, which is the oldest candy store in the United States. They sell old and new candy alike, and the word on the street is that Oprah's favorite candies are the chocolate turtles from this store. Let's go outside for a tad. This is Salem Common. It's a huge, big, open park, and in October they do kind of have a festival going on. They have food trucks and carnival games in this really cool area with orange lights. Do you recognize it? Have you seen the movie Hubie Halloween? Those are the orange lights from that movie. And right across the street from Salem Common is Phillips Elementary School. The school where Max gave his phone number to Allison, and then when they were riding their bikes after school down this path, she gives the number back and turns him down. In my upcoming Hocus Pocus film location movie, I will be sure to have side-by-side comparisons so you can see what it looked like in the movie and what it looks like now. Have you heard of The House of the Seven Gables? It's a romantic Gothic novel written by Nathaniel Hawthorne in 1850 and published in 1851. This is The House of the Seven Gables. You can pay to tour the inside, and you can also pay to just walk in the gardens and see the property. There's about 4 or 5 buildings on property there, but the gardens are just spectacular. If you're a history buff, you will probably like the inside tour, but we enjoyed the garden tour just as much. That red house was moved here. That was actually the house that Nathaniel Hawthorne was born in. They do have a beautiful lawn that you can sit in and a couple tables to sit at and enjoy the beautiful scenery around you while you check out that property. In October, the prices to tour the mansion are $30 a piece, and to tour just the gardens are $15, but you do need to get these reservations months in advance. One more Hocus Pocus location, Max and Dani's house. It's right on the ocean. It's beautiful. You have to go there. It's about a mile from downtown Salem, so you might want to take an Uber there if you're not up for the walk. But it is a must-do. It is a private property, though, so be very respectful when visiting this house. Okay, guys, the creepiest of creepy is called the Salem Night Fair, and it takes place at Pioneer Village. The lines are long, but make sure you check out my video about tips and tricks in Salem coming up in a couple days, and I will give you all of the details, tell you exactly where to park and how to get in really quickly. This place is phenomenal. There are so many monsters and actors just sitting around. You give them $1 and they'll tell you your fortune, or they'll give you a crystal. There's so many fun interactive things to do while you're there, and let me tell you, it is creepy but fantastic. In addition to all of the actors and buskers that are there, there are lots of shops set up. So it's kind of like a nighttime spooky market. There's food, there's drinks, there's hot cider, cider donuts, you name it. You can eat a full meal at this place and be fully satisfied. There are crocheted dolls, there are candles, you can buy t-shirts, and there's also a lot of original artwork for sale. If there's one thing you do in Salem in October, you have to go to the Salem Night Fair. Do not miss it. It is only $5 to enter and is only open the last 2 weekends before Halloween every year. And then there is Pioneer Village during the day. This is open on Saturdays and Sundays from 12 to 4 and is also $5 to enter. This is where the beginning scenes of Hocus Pocus were filmed. This is where Thackeray and his sister Emily live. There are a couple more Hocus Pocus locations, but not in Salem. They're close by, so make sure you watch that video so you can see those locations as well. One more location in Salem that you have to visit is Proctor's Ledge. It is not downtown, so you might have to take an Uber to this location as well, but it is a memorial to all the 19 victims who were hanged. This is the actual location where they were hung. Actually, not this memorial space. I will take you to that right here. So the Proctor's Ledge Memorial is that pink dot. You go up and around the block, and where that black X is, in between 25 and 35 Proctor Street, is some unmarked woods. You will walk up that hill, and at the top of that hill, that is the actual spot where the hangings occurred. And then that ledge is where they dumped the bodies over. It's a must-do. A very somber place, but very interesting part of Salem history. Before I wrap this up, I want to share that there are so many more things to do that we didn't get a chance. That Gallows Hill Museum, the Cinema Salem playing fun movies, the Peabody Essex Museum that has a bat pop-up shop. There is also a trolley that will take you around to all the stops. There's a Tiki Hut boat tour, and also Goodnight Fatties apparently has the best cookies around. And last but absolutely not least is the best place to stay when you are visiting Salem. It's actually located in Marblehead. It was a quick 10 to 15 minute drive, and I'll talk more about that in my upcoming video about tips and tricks in Salem. But look at this cute Airbnb. Ellen was an amazing host. The bedroom was so cute and that bed was so comfortable. There was a full kitchen, one bathroom with an amazing shower, and this really cute little living space. Oh, check out the coffee nook. The living space was perfect. There's a pull-out bed in there. I will make sure to link the description below. Please give Ellen a chance. This Airbnb was absolutely perfect. That about wraps it up. Let me know if you have any questions. And as always, I hope that you remember to choose joy and take all of the pictures.